Good evening, you are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Highness Syed Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed reviews Omani-European bilateral relations with a group of Friends of Oman from the European Parliament. Effects of the trough of low pressure continue over the Sultanate as rains fall over a number of governorates with reports of 2 deaths. And a comprehensive strategy is being prepared for the information technology sector in the Sultanate. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Highness Syed Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, received today the group of Friends of Oman from the European Parliament, led by Her Excellency Ramona Nicole Manisco, Chairperson of the group, on a visit to the Sultanate. His Highness reviewed the bilateral relations between the Sultanate and European countries, which is growing at all levels, praising the role of the parliamentary group to strengthen Omani-European friendship. His Highness also discussed the Sultanate's foreign policy principles on cooperation with countries in economic and investment fields, as well as issues serving security and stability, stressing the constructive role played by the Council of Oman in the national work process. The talks also dealt with supporting cooperation between the Sultanate and the European Parliament in scientific and research aspects, as well as points of view and opinions on the latest developments in the regional and international arenas, besides issues of common concern. The parliamentary group expressed its pride for the visit to the Sultanate, through which they were acquainted with civilizational Renaissance landmarks, affirming the recognition of the European countries of the vital role played by the Sultanate under the leadership of His Majesty the Sultan, and its efforts to bring the points of view closer to end regional tensions, contain its security and economic impact, and enhance tolerance and coexistence values among people. They also expressed that their visit will have positive results to strengthen Omani-European cooperation. It was attended by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud Al Manthri, Chairman of the State Council; His Excellency Khaled bin Salem Al Saeedi, Secretary General of the State Council; Honourable Dr. Badriya bint Ibrahim Ash-Shahia, Member at the State Council; and His Excellency Nujaim bin Sulaiman Al Abri, Sultanate's Ambassador accredited to Belgium. His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud Al Manthri, Chairman of the State Council, received the group of the Friends of Oman from the European Parliament, led by Her Excellency Ramona Nicole Manisco. During the meeting, they discussed promising horizons to develop further Omani-European relations. The Chairman of the Council stressed the Sultanate's keenness to enhance relations with the European Union countries and expand cooperation fields with them, as long as a joint desire and will exists to boost these relations and put them into reality through activating cooperation in all fields, especially economy. His Excellency, the Chairman of the State Council, hailed the efforts of the group to enhance the communication bridge between the Sultanate and the European Union countries. Her Excellency, the Chairperson of the group, expressed hopes to enhance the cooperation between the Sultanate and the European Union in education, scientific research, economy, tourism and other fields. The Shura Council Office, during its meeting today, discussed the reply of His Excellency the Minister of Manpower on terminating the services of a number of the workforce in companies working in the project of New Muscat International Airport. In the reply, His Excellency the Minister pointed out that a joint work team will be formed comprising representatives from the Ministries of Transport and Communications and Manpower, as well as the Omani Airport Management Company and Oman Air, to conduct a study in the best way to absorb those who lost their jobs in new companies operating at the airport or finding them alternative jobs. The meeting also dealt with the reply of His Excellency the Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Telecommunication Regulatory Authority on the procedures taken to avoid recurrence of telecommunication network disruption. The Chairman affirmed that necessary precautionary measures have been taken to solve the problem. It was presided over by His Excellency Khaled bin Hilal Al Mawali, Chairman of the Shura Council. Effects of the trough of low pressure continue over the Sultanate as rains fell over a number of governorates. In the Governorate of Muscat, light to moderate rains fell over the wilayas of Muscat, Matra, Bausha, Amarat and Korayat. Most of the wilayas in the Governorate of South Shakya also witnessed rain. Meanwhile, heavy to moderate rain fell over the governorates of Musandam, Biraymi, North and South Batana and Dakhliya, which led some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. The Public Authority for Civil Defence and Ambulance stated on its website that a child drowned in one of the villages in the wilaya of Damawatain. It also mentioned that an Asian national was killed when an electric post fell on him in the Drays area in the wilaya of Ibri. The Royal Oman Police was able to rescue 2 families when their houses were flooded by water in the wilaya of Liwa. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation clarified that in the upcoming hours, the Northern Governorate will witness rainfall accompanied by hail with chances of low clouds over the coastal areas of the governorates of Wasta and Dhofar. It also advises the public to take precautions during rain and not to cross flowing wadis. The wilayas of Suhar, Liwa, Shinas, Saham, Al-Kabura and Suwaik in the Governorate of North Batana witnessed rains of various intensity which led some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. In the Governorate of Biraymi, moderate to heavy rain accompanied by thunder and lightning fell on the wilayas of Biraymi, Madha and Sanaina, which led some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. The wilayas of Ibri, Dank and Yankal witnessed rains of varying intensity which led some wadis and their tributaries to overflow in the Governorate of Dahira. Meanwhile, in the Governorate of Dakhliya, heavy to moderate rains fell on the wilayas of Bala, Iski, Samail and Jabal al-Akhtar, leading some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. Here are some pictures of the rainfall in the Governorate. Due to the heavy rainfall, Wadi Andam in the wilaya of Matabi in the Governorate of North Shakya overflowed, leading some villages to be isolated from the main road. The wadi flow starts from the northern villages and ends towards the Arabian Sea. Measuring stations affiliated to the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources recorded varied quantities of the rain flowing in the following wilayas. In Mahut, 143 millimetres. In Samail, 114 millimetres. In Khassab, 92 millimetres. And in Korayat, 54 millimetres. Policy, strategies and legislation required for the telecommunications sector and organisational frameworks, along with types and quality of services that the coming stage might need, were the centre of discussions of the workshop on the role of the telecommunications sector in economic diversification. The workshop witnessed the participation of a number of specialists in the telecommunications sector and information technology. The specialists discussed a number of pillars such as digital and electronic transformation, information technology and increasing investments, in addition to improving applications and their usages in order to strengthen social and economic activities. It is worth mentioning that the information technology and telecommunications sectors play a vital role in social and economic development and strengthening the competitiveness of countries, in addition to their contribution in building an economy based on knowledge.
Is the way in which an economy like Oman will be affected by digital transformation. That's to say, the widespread use of information and communications technologies and the changes in the business processes and in consumer behavior that follows from that. This is a transformation that's taking place throughout the world. It's taking place pretty quickly. We're still in the early stages, but we do know that it's going to have a very big impact on all sectors, not just communications, but public services, transport, energy, things of that kind. So it's a very important dimension of the new world in which Omani economic development will take place.
The General Federation of Oman Trade Unions organised a workshop on the basics of financial accounting and preparing reports. The workshop, which lasts until the 20th of December 2017, aims to enhance the skills and knowledge of participants in the financial sector and also reviews the challenges and obstacles facing trade unions. It also shed light on the mechanisms of money management and fees, in addition to various other related subjects. The Shura Council held a ceremony for the inauguration of its new website, smartphone application and its identity. The inauguration came within the framework of developing legislative work as well as contributing to national decision-making. The website will provide information on the dates and times of the Shura Council sessions in addition to its permanent committees meetings. It will also enable site visitors to browse through the details of studies and the recommendations of the Council. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Nasser bin Hamoud Al-Kindi, Secretary-General of Royal Court Affairs. Still to come in our news bulletin. Nizwa Cultural Centre organises a cultural evening to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the demise of the poet Sheikh Almor bin Salem Al-Hadrami. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Egypt reopened an ancient library which holds thousands of centuries-old religious and historical manuscripts at the famed St. Catherine Monastery, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in South Sinai. The inauguration ceremony comes after 3 years of restoration work on the eastern side of the library that houses the world's second largest collection of early codices and manuscripts, outnumbered only by the Vatican Library, according to monk Damianos, the monastery's archbishop. The library holds around 3,300 manuscripts of mainly Christian texts in Greek, Arabic, Syriac, Georgian and Slavonic, among other languages. It also contains thousands of books and scrolls dating to the 4th century. St. Catherine's, where the monastery is located, is an area revered by followers of the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Two suicide bombers attacked a church in the Pakistani city of Quetta today, killing 8 people and wounding 42 others. The Home Minister for the southwestern Baluchistan province said hundreds of worshippers were attending services at the church ahead of Christmas. He said the attackers clashed with security forces, with one assailant killed at the entrance while the other made it inside. No one immediately claimed the attack. Extremists have targeted Pakistan's small Christian minority in the past. Hospital officials said 2 women were among the dead, while another 5 women and 2 children were among the wounded. A SpaceX capsule has returned to the International Space Station just in time for Christmas. Astronauts used the station's large robot arm to grab the Dragon capsule out of orbit this morning. It's the second visit for the supply ship, which also made a delivery for NASA back in 2015. SpaceX launched the Dragon from Cape Canaveral, Florida on Friday using a previously flown Falcon rocket. It was the first time SpaceX had flown a recycled rocket with a recycled capsule on top. SpaceX is looking to drive down launch costs through reusability. The Dragon holds nearly 5,000 pounds of good, including mice and barley seeds, the latter for a Budweiser experiment. A mudslide fueled by heavy rain swept over a village in southern Chile today, leaving at least 5 people dead and 15 missing. Rain caused a river to overflow and the side of a hill to collapse, burying 20 of the 200 houses in Villa Santa Lucia in the Los Lagos region, located 790 miles south of Chile's capital, Santiago. President Michelle Bachelet declared the region a catastrophe zone. She met with a team of ministers to coordinate rescue and assistance efforts. Some of the injured were taken by helicopter to medical centres. 2 families were evacuated because of a fire caused by the slide. The alert level in the area had been raised to red because of the persistent rains. Back to some more local news. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry calls upon applicants who want to register commercial brands to visit the Intellectual Property Department to complete the procedures of the registration to avoid any legal measures on the applications. The Ministry said that if applicants did not complete the procedures with the department, the applications will be cancelled. The Election Committee of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry announced that the election for membership for the OCCI Board of Directors has started. Candidates can apply through a form which is available at the Chamber and its branches or on its website. The candidates should attach all required documents with the application. Oman Air, the national carrier of the Sultanate of Oman, has been awarded World's Leading Airline Economy Class at the World Travel Awards in Vietnam. The national carrier was also awarded the World's Ultimate Service Award in Hospitality. 2017 has been a stellar year for Oman Air. The airline has been presented with a multitude of awards and accolades from renowned organisations around the globe, including 4 World Travel Awards. In an area of 4,000 square metres, the new building of the Social Development Department was opened in the Wilayah of Sib, namely in the area of Al Qud. The new building includes 15 offices and 2 meeting halls, provided with facilities and modern means. The department will render its services to around 400,000 citizens in the Wilayah of Sib, as it includes 4 sections, namely administrative affairs, social welfare, special care, and a section meant for combating the begging phenomenon. The opening ceremony included a number of social and cultural activities like theatre shows, poem recitation, and other social activities. The opening ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Saeed Al Khalbani, Minister of Social Development. Information Technology Authority held a ceremony for award winners at the SAS 48 Award. Around 100 projects in electronic applications competed in this award. The winning applications were 2. The first is a social network called Together, which allows families to share their best moments. The second is an application that helps car users to follow up the maintenance process allocated to their cars. The SAS 48 competition this year included various educational, health, real estate, marketing and booking sectors. The competition is based on bringing together 100 smartphone application programmers, marketing experts and entrepreneurs under the supervision of a team throughout a continuous 48 hours. Muscat Securities Market today added 14.05 points, comprising a rise by 0.28% to close to close at 5,075 points compared to the last session, which stood at 5,061 points. The trading value today stood at 2.7 million Omani Riyals, comprising a decline by 20.4% compared to the last session, which stood at 3.4 million Omani Riyals. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value rose by 0.09% to reach about 17.7 billion Omani Riyals. The report added that the value of shares bought by non-Omani investors reached 81,000 Omani Riyals, comprising 2.98%. The value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached 124,000 Omani Riyals, comprising 4.54%. The net non-Omani investment declined by 1.57% to 43,000 Omani Riyals. Niswa Cultural Centre, in cooperation with libraries of Imam Jabbar bin Zaid Public Library in Niswa and Sheikh Mohsen bin Sabrin Al Abri in Al Hamra, held a cultural evening to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the demise of the poet Sheikh Al-Mur bin Salem Al Hadrami. More details in the following report by Salah bin Khalfan Al Rabi.
The poet of Al Jawf, a name given to Sheikh Al-Mur bin Salem Al Hadrami, who was born in 1823 in Farq in the Wilaya of Nizwa. The Sheikh studied Quran and other sciences and later became prodigy in Arabic poetry. He passed away at the age of 94 in 1917, leaving a legacy of poetry and literature. This cultural evening came to mark the centennial of the demise of Sheikh Al-Mur, shedding light on the literature of this great poet, whose poetic work has been found to be sophisticated and well expressed.
The main aim of hosting this event or organizing this event is to keep the heritage memorized by the people, and also another aim is to activate the role of the libraries and to give a gate for the researchers to find what they want to find about this dispute.
In addition, the event aimed to highlight the scientific and intellectual contributions of this poet and share such literary heritage with the public and future generations in particular.
It's very, very important to me as like one of his grandsons, that we know his heritage, we know the culture, we know that the scripts left about his his poems, and it's very, very important to know as a person how our great-grandparents used to celebrate whatever is happening here in Oman and the way they have lived their life in the past.
The program of the event included a number of work papers that discussed some of the poet's works. The presentations also reviewed some of the special features found in the manuscripts that documented his biography. In addition, a short documentary about the biography of the poet was screened. Besides, some of his poems were recited and chanted at the event, giving the attendees an opportunity to experience the elegance of the poet's works. The rich biography of the poet Al-Mur bin Salem Al-Hadrami calls upon researchers to do further studies in order to explore the depth of his contributions and achievements in the Omani literature. From Nizwa Cultural Center, Salah bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhliya, Governorate.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies will prevail over the governorates of Musandam, North and South Batana and most of the northern parts, with chances of various intensity rainfall accompanied by active wind and hail. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorates of Worcester and Dhofar, with chances of scattered rains. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly, light to moderate, occasionally active. Seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 3 metres. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Syed Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed reviews Omani-European bilateral relations with a group of Friends of Oman from the European Parliament. Effects of the trough of low pressure continue over the Sultanate as rains fall over a number of governorates with reports of 2 deaths. And a comprehensive strategy is being prepared for information technology sector in the Sultanate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.